Are you here because you've heard about the case study round and you're curious about how to solve it? In this video, I'll try to answer all your questions on this topic. The agenda behind asking this question is to test your ability to break down complex problems and find out issues at each point. The most common case questions asked at an APM level are product sense or product design questions. These questions basically aim at testing your product strategy and design. Usually, there are the following types of product sense questions. The first type are more generic. It could be a question like, how would you design a playground for kids? These questions don't require any kind of industry knowledge on your part. The second are more company specific or tech specific. These could be questions like, how would you go about increasing the reach of the Gmail app? These questions require more tech understanding from your end. One thing to note here is that there's no guarantee about which type of case you will get. However, the way to solve each is quite the same. So now without further ado, let's get into the case. So let's say our case was increase the number of repeat purchases on Amazon. Now I think the best way to prepare for these case studies is to think from the interviewer's perspective. What is it that he's trying to assess here? In my opinion, the interview here is trying to see if you solve the right problems. So to solve the right problems, you also need to know the right problems, right? So how do we understand and figure out what are the problems in this situation? So in order to find out the right problem, you need to know what are you solving for or what is your target metric. So just to reiterate here, to build the right solution, you need to know the right problem. To know the right problem, you need to know the right target metric. So it's very essential that you discuss the right target metric and align with your interviewer about what it should be at the beginning. For example, in this case, the metric could be the quantity of repeat purchases by the same user or the number of people who are doing repeat purchases on the platform itself. You need to align with the interviewer which metric is more important and why. The why would generally come from the company's direction or vision. During an interview, you can assume something or the interviewer will tell you in which direction to think about. So after this is done, the next thing that the interviewer is looking out for is your capability to solve problems. Now over here, the interviewer is trying to look at two things. One, if you have a problem solving mindset. Number two, or your problem solving process can be used for other day-to-day problems or not. So guys, there is no single way of solving this. However, I would like to recommend my way of solving such questions. So the first step is to identify the users and their use cases. And the second one is to build out the journey of these users and see which are the core crucial steps in their journey and what you can solve through it. So for example, in our case, the metric could have been to increase the number of people that are doing repeat purchases on the platform. Over here, we could probably break our target audience into two sets. The first one is users who have purchased products which could be repeated, like toilet paper, and two, users who have purchased products that aren't repeat, but they'd probably repeat if they had a good experience on the platform. Now that you've listed the users and their use cases, try to identify the more attractive of the two users. In our case, I'd like to pick up the ones that have already purchased something which has a repeat, like a toilet paper. Why? Because these users have already bought something that will push them to buy again and probably a low hanging fruit. Now you go through their purchase journey and try to identify pain points. For example, in this case, their purchase journey would be like realizing that they need to buy it again, coming to the app and searching of the product, placing an order, and then repeating this entire journey again. This entire journey, I could find pain points like, hey, they might need reminders on when to buy their purchase again. Two, they might want to quickly discover the product on the app so that they can do their repeat purchase. These are just ideas, guys. You can brainstorm with the interviewer more. You can also brainstorm with me right now and share in comments what is it that you think would be the possible issues or problems or pain points that a user would have in this journey. Once you've figured out all the pain points, then narrow down to a few ones. For example, in this case, I'd like to narrow down to the one where the discovery of the repeat product is very essential. Now, we will go ahead and brainstorm some ideas. Now again, look at the user's journey. What does he do when he's trying to discover products? Probably he comes to the app and tries to search for them, or maybe he goes back to his order history and tries to repurchase from there. Or maybe he's buying something else, but that's the point where you can nudge him to repeat the toilet paper again. So you found a few spots where you can do the discovery of the repeat purchase. Try to think of ideas or more creative solutions on how you'd like to nudge him, but this discovery is good enough in itself. Now that you have a few solutions in head, you try to put them all together and prioritize them for delivery. You can use the impact cost estimate framework for this. So try to see what is the most impactful feature and what is the estimate or what is the cost of building it. Usually we try to build the one which has the highest impact and the lowest time to market. I'll speak more about this prioritization framework in my other videos. Once you've figured out your priority list, just share it with your interviewer along with the metrics that you'll use to measure success. For example, in this case, you'll try to probably measure the number of people who added the repurchase item on the cart from the cart nudge itself. If possible, also mention a few risks that you might have overlooked here. For example, you could say that even after we build everything, the repeat purchaser might not purchase anything if he does not have a good experience on the platform. And voila, your case is done. So guys, that's it for this video. This video is a part of a series of videos where I try to answer how to tackle each of the different types of questions that come across in a PM interview. Make sure you check them out and please comment on the section below if you have any questions about the process at all. So please subscribe to this channel. If you found the content useful, please subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching this video and I'll see you next time.